this is the formal filing in the complaint. Timpool as plaintiff versus Harris for president. Jury trial demanded. You can see we have the official filing here. I need not read the introduction. I'll give you the brief summary as it pertains to this lawsuit we have filed. For those that are just tuning in, I will give you the quick update once again, as this will also be a standalone segment. I am suing the Harris campaign for defaming me, for claiming that I had called for the extrajudicial execution of Donald Trump's political opponents, like all of his voters who refused to support him. They literally said that I was a Trump operative with a Project 2025 plan calling for legal authorities beyond the scope of legal authorities that would allow Trump to jail and execute anyone who refuses to support him if he wins. It is so antithetical to my views. It is the exact opposite of what was actually being said in the video. And so I will show you guys this filing, and we'll provide some commentary and understanding on what is.
Tim, I got to ask you a quick question on this.
Yeah.
With what's been going on with the attempted assassinations on Donald Trump, now multiple assassinations we're moving into, I have a feeling that there's going to be multiple more. It seems like once this kind of happens, you just can't quite put it back in. How does things like this, like the Harris campaign saying this about Timcast and you, not actually put your life in danger?
I suppose I should probably read for you from here, which outlines some of these incidents. I will mention an individual showed up at one of our properties, and the report that I was given, because we're not there, was that an employee was physically attacked. So the insanity that emerges when a presidential campaign claims that you as a podcast host want them to be executed, I think people really need to understand how shockingly insane that is and the damages that come with it. So I do think it's important to point out as well, for me, I'm personally impacted by this. My business is impacted by this. My friends, my family, my security, and many, many other things. We have been sitting here watching a corporate media apparatus as well as prominent politicians lie over and over about everything. I think they've crossed the line many, many times. This is just one example. Here's the filing, which I'll try to make it quick so we can talk more about the issues, but you get an understanding of where we're coming from. They mentioned that I'm a social media creator, independent journalist, interviewing many people such as Marianne Williamson, former Democratic presidential candidates. I cast my ballot for Barack Obama in 2008. I'd endorsed Bernie Sanders in 2016, though I was not nearly as prominent, mind you. My views defy easy categorization on the left-right spectrum. I'm fairly moderate. It goes on to mention that I was skeptical of the global war on terror, joining protesters in New York City during Occupy. I was critical of George W. Bush. It goes on. They mention I'm a critic of bailouts, financial interests, corporate power. I'm a civil libertarian. But let me go on to get to the meat and potatoes here. The filing says in a post to the social media platform X, which has now been viewed more than 12 million times, the Harris campaign stated Mr. Poole is promoting a, quote, plan to give former President Trump total unchecked legal power so they can jail and execute those who don't support Trump if he wins. The Harris campaign did not hedge this statement or couch it as opinion. To the contrary, to any reasonable reader, the Harris campaign was saying that Mr. Poole wants to suspend the Constitution, make Trump a dictator, and use state power to imprison and kill Mr. Poole and President Trump's political opponents. According to the Harris campaign, then Mr. Poole's plan is to imitate one of the hallmarks of the most abhorrent, murderous regimes of past and present. What the Harris campaign published was and is a lie. Mr. Poole has never advocated for the lawless extrajudicial killing of his or anyone else's political opponents. To include in the video clip, the Harris campaign incorporated to its X post. Both the clip and its context demonstrate Mr. Poole's commitment to civil liberties, which is consistent with his past criticism of drone strikes involving American citizens in the war on terrorism. Shocked by the Harris campaign's malicious disregard for the truth, Mr. Poole almost immediately threatened legal action, but the post and the deception it creates remains to this day. Mr. Poole welcomes debate and discussion from all sides of the political spectrum, including from Vice President Harris, Governor Walz, the Harris campaign. As part of his commitment to open discussion, Mr. Poole has even taken out advertisements above the very New York City streets he once walked to engage people who disagree with him, putting millions of dollars where his mouth is on the issue. But with the Harris campaign's lie still hovering over our democracy, Mr. Poole finds it more difficult to book guests with contrary views, including Democratic politicians and members of Congress. The reputational harm the Harris campaign inflicted on Mr. Poole will take millions of dollars to undo. At the same time, Mr. Poole is ramping up his security efforts as a shield against those who bought the Harris campaign's lie and might seek to do him and those he cares about harm. A recent incident suggests one man might have already been set off by the Harris campaign's false statement.